Human culture and governance has revolved around a multitude of factors throughout history. Scholars and academics have often pointed to the geography of a civilization, its religions, and its population as major differentiators between their cultures. However, in my opinion, they forget the most important factor that era's means of war. Specifically, I believe the military technology and tactics of a civilization shape its social institutions and structures of power more than any other factor. Before I start drawing my multiple parallels, this is simply from the point of view of an avid history enthusiast who came to these conclusions after an epiphany while playing a video game about war. It starts with the early aristocratic kingdoms in 2400 BCE, where god kings and a small number of wealthy nobles reigned supreme. The era's means of war were characterized by small chariot armies of nobles clashing against huge hordes of peasants, beating them with their superior mobility and strength despite their lack of numbers. This is reflected by its very style of governance, with absolute divine authoritarianism in the hands of a god king who could exert his will upon a largely outnumbered population. A great example of this would be the Egyptian culture of monarchic pharaohs and their famed charioteers. The next major evolution in military technology would be the Greek phalanx by 600 BCE. It refers to a shield wall with the simultaneous use of spears to advance and defend. It was an extremely tight formation where if one member broke, it would mean the collapse of the collective. This possibly played a role in democratizing an individual's worth that can be reflected in the Greek ideas of citizenship and equality. It is a parallel to their form of government with their free cities with collectivist identities. This trend continues all throughout history, where large centralized kingdoms came next, who could levy heavy infantry en masse and organize them effectively to control localized provinces. Once the construction of castles were perfected, we saw small duchies and counties vying for power between each other. Small states employed cavalry due to their smaller populations. The use of gunpowder brought an end to all of these small kingdoms, with a return to absolute monarchies vying for resources to construct bombards and fortresses in the 1400s. The perfection of the musket and rifle collides with the advent of liberalism, where an individual band of people could exercise an extent of power similar to a phalanx. The 1900s were then characterized by the current big governments we have today, who can engage in large scale industrial warfare. We've seen specific unique cultures develop their own institutions regardless of the conventional means of war, like Viking confederalism or Russian authoritarianism. So, these factors may be seen as both conditions and symptoms that act as a catalyst for change. Soon, I believe, we will see the rise of the technocratic state, which pursues forms of modern warfare which we yet cannot predict. Realistically, the purpose of this talk is to simply bring awareness to the facts and matters that often shape us. We've currently reached a position in our society where mass surveillance systems and nuclear and computing technology are being rapidly developed. It is my hope that as historically, such innovations have led to massive changes and humans have let them go unrecognized and unregulated, we now try to understand the dangers and the scope that such change and innovation may bring. We must seek to create a society where all may flourish and maintain it despite the changing warfare. History doesn't repeat itself, but man does. So let's try to change that.